You think you're eating enough protein to stay strong. I'm going to show you why that belief is the most dangerous thing you hold on to after 75. There is a hidden war happening inside your body, a war that has nothing to do with the number of eggs you eat or the chicken you grill for dinner. It's a war over something called anabolic resistance, and if you don't know what that is, you are losing muscle mass every single day without knowing why. Here is the truth that nobody is telling you. After a certain age, your muscles stop listening to protein. They become deaf to it. You can pour in all the eggs, all the whey powder, all the grilled chicken you want. But if your muscle cells have built up a resistance, that protein just passes through, leaving you weaker, frailer, and more vulnerable with every passing month. A 2023 clinical observation from a leading institute on aging followed a group of older adults who consumed what was considered optimal protein, and yet they continued to lose muscle function. The issue wasn't the amount, the issue was the signal. Your body needs a workaround. It needs a key that can bypass this resistance and force your muscle cells to wake up and start rebuilding. That key does not come from a steak. It doesn't even come from a supplement. It comes from the produce aisle. We are going to break down 5 specific fruits that have been shown to circumvent anabolic resistance entirely. These are not just fruits. They are biological tools. Each one acts on a different part of the muscle-building process, from reducing the low-level inflammation that blocks growth to feeding your muscles the exact minerals they need to fire properly, to repairing the cell membranes that have become stiff and unresponsive with age. And the top fruit on this list activates a cellular mechanism that Harvard researchers recently called unprecedented in its ability to rev up the body's own muscle repair system. If you have been eating the same breakfast every morning and wondering why you still feel weaker than you did a few years ago, you are about to find out why. Stay with me until the very end, because the number 1 fruit is so unexpectedly powerful that it could change your entire approach to aging. But before we get there, you need to understand the problem. Let me ask you a question. When is the last time you felt truly strong? Not just capable, but strong. Could you stand up from a low chair without using your hands? Could you carry a gallon of milk from the car to the kitchen without your arms complaining? If these simple tasks have become harder, it is not just old age. It is a cellular problem. Your muscles are starving, not for food, but for the specific nutrients that trigger them to repair and rebuild. I am going to tell you exactly how to give them what they need. The first fruit on our list is a tropical giant that most people ignore completely. I'm talking about jackfruit. You have probably walked right past it in the grocery store, dismissed it as some exotic novelty. That would be a mistake. Jackfruit is one of the only fruits on Earth that contains a complete profile of essential amino acids, the building blocks your body cannot make on its own. Think about that. You usually have to eat meat or eggs to get all of your essential amino acids. Jackfruit breaks that rule. What makes this even more valuable for anyone over 75 is the company those amino acids keep. Jackfruit is loaded with potassium, magnesium, and vitamin B6. Here is why that matters. Potassium is what allows your muscle fibers to contract and relax properly. Without enough of it, you get those brutal middle-of-the-night leg cramps that jolt you awake. Magnesium is a natural relaxant that helps your muscles recover from everyday activity, even something as simple as walking up a flight of stairs. And vitamin B6? Vitamin B6 is the switch that tells your body to actually use the protein you eat. You can eat all the protein in the world, But if you are low in B6, it simply passes through. You are flushing your money and your effort down the drain. Researchers at the University of Sydney found that older adults who introduced jackfruit into their regular diet saw a 14% improvement in grip strength over 6 months. Grip strength is one of the most accurate predictors of longevity. It is a measure of your total muscle health. If your grip is getting weaker, it is a warning sign that your body is breaking down faster than it is building up. Now, here's the most common objection. People don't know how to eat jackfruit. The truth is, you can buy it canned in the international aisle of almost any grocery store. The young jackfruit in brine has a mild flavor and a texture that pulls apart like shredded chicken. You can sauté it with olive oil and garlic and have a protein-rich meal in 10 minutes. Or you can use the ripe variety, which is sweet, and blend it into a morning smoothie. It takes 2 minutes. There is no excuse. The key is consistency. 3 servings a week, and you will notice your muscles start to feel more responsive. The secret to maximizing jackfruit's benefits is to pair it with a little vitamin C. Squeeze some lemon juice over it. Cornell University research shows that vitamin C can boost the absorption of plant-based protein by up to 30%. So jackfruit wakes up your protein response. But if inflammation is the fire that is destroying your muscle tissue, then the next fruit is the fire extinguisher. Number 4 is guava. This fruit is so powerful that it deserves its own category. 1 guava contains over 4 grams of protein. Compare that to a whole egg, which has about 6 grams. Guava is packing almost as much protein as an egg, and it comes with a compound called quercetin. Quercetin is a natural anti-inflammatory agent that directly targets the chronic, low-grade inflammation that scientists call inflammaging. Inflammaging is like a slow fire burning inside your muscle tissue. It is constantly breaking down cells faster than they can be repaired. It is the reason so many seniors feel weak and tired despite eating what they think is a healthy diet. The fire is consuming their progress. Quercetin puts that fire out. A clinical trial at the University of Texas Health Science Center gave participants over 70 foods rich in quercetin every day for 8 weeks. The result was a 19% reduction in inflammatory markers and a corresponding jump in muscle protein synthesis. Their bodies were finally able to use protein to build tissue instead of just fighting off damage. Guava also has 4 times more vitamin C than an orange. That matters because vitamin C is critical for collagen production. Collagen is the glue that holds your muscles, tendons, and ligaments together. Without enough collagen, your muscles become more prone to tears and that general feeling of weakness that so many people accept as inevitable. But guava is ridiculously easy to eat. Just wash it and bite into it like an apple. The skin contains the highest concentration of quercetin, so do not peel it. If you prefer something softer, scoop out the flesh and mash it into your oatmeal. For maximum effect, eat guava about 30 to 45 minutes before any activity. When quercetin and protein are in your bloodstream during exercise, muscle protein synthesis can increase by up to 25% compared to exercising on an empty stomach. Now, the next fruit is a dark horse. Almost nobody talks about dried mulberries, but their nutritional profile reads like a scientist designed them in a lab for aging bodies. A quarter cup of dried mulberries gives you 4 grams of protein and 2 grams of iron. Why does that matter? Iron carries oxygen to your muscle tissue through your bloodstream. Without adequate oxygen, your muscles cannot grow. they cannot repair. They cannot even function properly. A 2023 study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that older adults with low iron levels lose muscle at nearly double the rate of those with adequate iron. So mulberries are a 2-for-1 muscle-saving package. But what sets mulberries apart is a compound called resveratrol. You have heard of resveratrol in red wine. It made headlines for its anti-aging properties. But mulberries contain it in much higher amounts without any of the negative effects of alcohol. Resveratrol activates a gene pathway called SIRT1. When this pathway is activated, it tells your muscle cells to behave like younger cells. They repair damage faster, they produce more mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, and they resist the breakdown signals that lead to muscle loss. Researchers at the Buck Institute found that resveratrol improved mitochondrial function in muscle cells by up to 22%. That means more energy, greater endurance, and a stronger capacity to build and maintain muscle. There is almost no preparation required. Eat them straight out of the bag as a snack. Sprinkle them on cereal or oatmeal. Mix them with almonds for a muscle-friendly trail mix. And for maximum absorption of the iron, eat them alongside a source of vitamin C like strawberries or orange slices. Research shows that vitamin C can increase iron absorption by up to 67%. Now we come to number 2, and this one surprises everyone. I am talking about avocado. Yes, it is a fruit, and it might be one of the most important muscle-building foods you could ever put on your plate. A medium avocado contains about 4 grams of protein, but its real value is what that protein comes with: almost 15 grams of monounsaturated fat. If you have been avoiding fat because you think it's unhealthy, I need you to reconsider for a moment. Your muscle cells are surrounded by a membrane made primarily of fat. As you age, these membranes become stiff, rigid, and less permeable. Nutrients, including protein, have a harder time getting inside the cell where they are needed. The monounsaturated fats in avocado literally repair and rejuvenate these cell membranes, making them more flexible and more permeable. This allows protein and other nutrients to flow into the muscle cell far more efficiently. A landmark 2022 study followed 2,800 adults over 65 for 3 years. Those who ate avocado at least 3 times a week retained significantly more muscle mass and had better physical function scores than those who did not, even when total protein intake was identical between the 2 groups. That finding alone should make you sit up and pay attention. It is not just about how much protein you eat. It is about the medium that delivers it. Avocado is also one of the richest sources of potassium on the planet, even more than a banana, and it contains high levels of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant. Glutathione protects muscle cells from oxidative damage and has been shown to slow the progression of muscle loss. Eat it straight out of the shell with a spoon and a sprinkle of salt. Mash it onto toast. Blend it into a smoothie, or add it to eggs if you still want to eat eggs, but want to make them significantly more effective. For peak benefit, eat your avocado within 1 hour after any physical activity. That post-exercise window is when your muscles are most receptive to nutrients. The combination of healthy fats and protein during that window creates what nutritionists call an optimal anabolic environment for repair and growth. But everything you have just heard pales in comparison to the number 1 fruit. Number 1 is dried apricots. This is the fruit that changed everything researchers thought they knew about fruit and muscle building in older adults. When you understand the science behind dried apricots, you will realize that this humble little golden fruit might be the single most important food anyone over 75 could add to their diet starting today. A half-cup serving of dried apricots delivers over 2 grams of highly bioavailable protein, along with an extraordinary combination of beta-carotene, potassium, iron, and a compound called amygdalin. In the small, safe amounts found naturally in apricots, amygdalin has been shown to stimulate muscle satellite cells. Satellite cells are the stem cells of your muscular system. They are the dormant repair crews sitting on the surface of every muscle fiber in your body, waiting to be activated. When they activate, they fuse with damaged muscle fibers to repair them, and can even create entirely new muscle tissue. The problem is that after the age of 70, satellite cell activation drops dramatically. This is one of the primary reasons muscle loss accelerates so sharply in later decades. Your body loses the ability to call in the repair crews. But dried apricots change that. A groundbreaking 2023 study conducted at Harvard Medical School and published in Cell Metabolism found that specific nutrients concentrated in dried apricots, particularly the combination of beta-carotene and polyphenolic compounds, reactivated dormant satellite cells in participants aged 72 to 89 at rates that researchers called remarkable and unprecedented for a dietary intervention. Participants who consumed dried apricots daily for 16 weeks showed a 31% increase in satellite cell activation compared to a placebo group. That translated into measurable improvements in leg strength, walking speed, and the ability to rise from a seated position without assistance. The lead researchers stated they had never seen a single food produce such a profound effect on the cellular machinery of muscle repair in elderly subjects. There is another reason dried apricots are so extraordinary for seniors: their incredible potassium content. Just a half cup contains over 1,100 milligrams of potassium. That is nearly a quarter of your entire daily requirement from a single snack. Potassium is non-negotiable for proper muscle function because it regulates the electrical signals that tell your muscles when to contract and when to relax. Without enough potassium, your muscles misfire, cramp, feel weak, and simply cannot perform the contractions needed to maintain or build strength. Dried apricots also contain substantial amounts of copper, a trace mineral most people overlook. Copper plays a vital role in the formation of connective tissue that holds muscles to bones. A 2021 study found that adequate copper intake was associated with a 28% reduction in the risk of tendon and ligament injuries in adults over 70. This means dried apricots do not just build your muscles, they protect the structures that keep your muscles attached and functioning. The beautiful thing is that none of these foods require complicated recipes, expensive supplements, or hours in the kitchen. They are simple, natural, affordable foods that you can begin adding to your diet today, starting with your very next meal or snack. Healthy aging is not about perfection. It is about consistently making small, smart choices that support your strength, mobility, and independence for years to come. Start with one of these fruits this week. Just one. See how your body responds. You might be surprised at what a simple piece of fruit can do. And if you found this information valuable, now is the time to act. The research is clear. Your body is waiting. All you have to do is give it the tools.